Hi, this is Wilderness Surviving to Thriving, and I have a lot of grapes here. I'm kind of getting sick of just eating them all the time, so I want to do stuff with them before they go bad. So today I'm going to talk about how to make yeast. Now, the show is called Wilderness Surviving to Thriving. In the backcountry, you really don't need yeast. That's more of the thriving part. But you know, I do cook bread and stuff like that in the backcountry though. But I call it flatbread. You know, normally the first day I go camping, I have like frozen meat to treat myself, or some kind of chicken meat or fish, something like that. The second day, I do like a flatbread type of deal with some cheese on it, and after that, it's just dehydrated stuff. Um, dehydrated stuff and whatever I catch, fish or whatever. So, anyways, the yeast part is, to treat yourself a little bit, make your bread rise. You can also, make some alcohol with it. Um, you know, and that's a great alcohol is great to drink, and it's also good to barter. And now I don't know what the legal aspects of that. So let's say it's good to barter in a society shuts down as you know it type of scenario. So let's go. So yeast is important for certain things. So let's go ahead, and I have already picked up. I already picked some berries here, some grapes. I mean, and I just filled a jar here with a little bit of water, and just dump a little bit in. Now that's probably good enough right there. You don't really need to put a lot in here, and that's maybe quarter way full, and that's only the water's only halfway full of the jar. So you know what I mean. So you don't really need to put up a lot, but I'm gonna put a lot just for um, to get good results, because I know somebody just did this recently and they said grapes don't work that well for some reason. So I'm gonna try it anyways. So let me try it and see what happens. But anyways, just pour. Like I said, you only need to do it about that much or so. I might even take some out. I put too much in there. So about there or so, and water half full. So quarter, maybe half water, I guess. It's not exact science. If you want more yeast, you put some more fruit in there. You can use any fruits or vegetables should work, because yeast is everywhere. I believe it's in the air, and I believe it's in the fruit or on the outside of the fruit. I think it is, but I'll have to look that up. You really don't need to know what yeast is. You just gotta know what it does. So let me look that up. But I believe it's on the outside of the fruit and it's in the air, I think. And anyway, let's continue on. As far as put the lid on here and put that on there like that, and then tighten her up a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and tomorrow, and I'll show you what to do next. Thanks. Okay, it's the next day. It's pretty late in the next day, but anyways, what you want to do is you want to shake it around, swirl it, swirl it around, get it all mixed up, kind of like that, and then get the oxygen flowing. You want to open it up here to let it breathe a little bit. As you notice, if you can take a look there, you can see some bubbles coming up, and that's good. And also some of the fruit is floating up to the top, so you want that to happen. And like I said, just let it breathe a little bit, swirl it a little bit, put the cap back on, and this is the end of day 2, and we'll see what's next. Okay, it's about day 5. I haven't been really recording it, but day 3 or so, all the fruit floated up. There was a white film here, so I'm just going to swish this around like that again, and then it should make a noise. Yep, it's making a noise. I'm going to pull this off camera. It's a hard one. So it did make a noise when it opened, and you can see here, you should see how it fizzes. It's kind of hard, hold on, to see what I'm talking about, but it's all fizzing. There was a lot of fruit in here, so the more fruit you have, the faster it's going to go. But let's wait until the bubbles die down, and then I'll show you. Yep, there you go. You can kind of see the fizzing there. So it's working when you see the fizzing. It's fizzing right there. So it's fizzing all over, but you really can't see it because of the bubbles. So, but anyways, I'll come back. I'm going to leave this, since it's a lot of activity going on still. I'm going to leave this for another day or two. But anyway, you can smell it. It smells like yeast. So we're there right now, but let's just give it another day or so. Okay, it's day 7 now. In the summertime when it's hot, you can probably get away with like 3 days or so. I've waited. This is day 7, just because it's a little colder. It's mid-October or whatever, but I have a lot of fruit in here, so it should go faster because of that. So I didn't need to wait this long. I was probably ready after day 4, 5. I didn't have to go this long. But anyways, time to strain it out now. Um, you know, you can kind of tell when it's done when it smells yeasty, but I'm just going to strain this out here. Getting all over the place since I'm doing with one hand. Okay, so now all the fruit is there, and the jar is here, so this is good. Just going to let that drip a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one right here. I'm just going to add a little bit of flour just to test to see if it rises. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there. You know what? I'm going to put it back here. You can tell in this jar better if it rises. So, a good idea is you should never fill these things more than 80% up, high or so. But if you have a recipe that requires 2 cups of, water or whatever, you can put the exact amount right in there and then strain it, put it right back, put the flour right in there and stir it up and see if it rises. But anyways, this is the test to see if it rises. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour some in here. Oops, I don't know how much, if I did too much or not. But I'm just going to mix it around. And then, you know what? I have the wrong consistency in here. I need more flour. So let me get back. Let me get the right consistency. And then we'll watch it rise. Okay, so I just mixed in some flour. As you can see, it's there. We're going to see if it rises or not. Now, like I said before, I know people have done this with grapes before and didn't turn out that great, so we'll see what happens. But I'll just go ahead and review everything. Just so you guys know, you want to sterilize your jar, have a clean jar. That's the first thing you do. I heard raisins work really well, or any kind of fruit, put it in there. The more fruit you have in there, the faster the results are going to be, obviously. Then you want to fill in the water. Like I said, if you have a recipe that requires 2 cups of water, put in 2 cups, a little bit more maybe. If you don't have a recipe, never fill the jar more than 80% or so. If you have extra left over like this, then you want to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. So make sure you do that. So then you want to close the jar just loosely. You don't want to have it explode on you. No, I don't think it will explode, but you don't, you're not sealing the jar completely, so some gases can escape if it wants. But when you do open this up after like day 3 or so, you do hear a hissing sound, so there is a lot of gases getting trapped. But you just want to close it loosely. You want to leave it at room temperature, so wherever in your house, is your kitchen, whatever, room temperature is good. What else do I have to say? What was the next step? You wait a few days. It all depends on, if it's summer, it'll be done in 3 days. You can see the fruit going up to the top and it's bubbling. You can kind of know when it's done. Once it's bubbling, the process is really going well. It's probably going to be done the next day or next 2 days or so. But about 3 days in the summer, maybe 7 days in the winter, you should wait. And then after that, you just mix everything in, and and you have your bread. So let's go ahead and we'll leave this be, and we'll check in a couple minutes to see if it's rising, see what it does. But remember, refrigerate any extra there, and anytime you're dealing with food or you're consuming everything, always be cautious. Always do your homework, investigations, make sure you're doing the right thing. But let's check it in a little bit, see if it rises. Okay, I put it back in the jar here, and I'm just going to put on the lid here very loosely so I can breathe. And just going to leave it there, but it's at, you can see here, that level or so. We'll do it on the side. There's a measuring thing here. Good. Okay, it's the next morning. It took an extremely long time to rise. I don't know why it took so long, but like I said before, I knew grapes really didn't work that well for some reason, but raisins do. They work fantastic, so I don't understand that. But if you guys want to, go ahead and try different ones and let me know how it works. You know, different fruit, vegetables. Let me know, you know, what works, what doesn't work, what rises quickly, what's a little, you know, slower to rise, if it rises at all. If it's your first time, try raisins. I know that works for sure. But anyways, right here is where it was yesterday. And then I checked like 8 hours later, and it was probably up to here. And this is the next morning, so it's here. So it is rising. And if you notice my other the picture before this, you can see, you know, the sides weren't filled in. It was, you know, right there. So it did work, but not a rapid riser. So but it works. So it's a success. I believe you can do it with any fruit. Some work better than others. Leave in the comments what you tried. If it worked properly, let me know. All right, see you guys. Okay, I just want to sum things up again. When I was summing things up before, I forgot to say filter out the fruit, which I just did before that point, so you probably knew that. But anyways, also, like when you add the flour in there, make sure the lid is on loosely because you want it to breathe. And before, when it's, you know, was bubbling and all that, you saw me I had trouble opening up the lid. It shouldn't be on that tight. That was a faulty lid. That's why it was on so tight. But you can, you know, when you do that portion, you know, tighten it to the point, you know, right before where it starts getting, you know, real hard to tighten. You know what I mean? Just so that's what I meant by loosely. You know, gases do build up in there, but if they really wanted to, they escape. In other words, is you're not giving it a bath. You know what I'm saying? You're not like trying to preserve it like you do other things. So you don't want to do that. You just kind of hand tighten it, or, you know, loosely hand tighten it, or whatever you want to say. But other things, you know, if you want to make the process go faster, you can add some honey or sugar to it. I've never done that because I feel like, well, I want to use that stuff, you know, for other things. So, but anyways, that's it. All right, bye. Sorry guys, I just looked at the video, want to sum something up again. But anyways, the reason I transferred it over to the jar because it was just a slow riser and I just wanted to cover it, so I put it back in the jar. So that's why I did that. And the other thing, and that's what I wanted to do in the to begin with anyways. And the other thing is that you want to make sure that you open the jar every day, just once a day. Open the jar, let it breathe, put it back on. Okay, bye, for real.